Hello everyone, this is Dartt. I wanted to take a little time to talk about some of the things I like and dislike about World of Warcraft Legion. We're a little ways into the expansion, so I feel like what I say isn't just going off half-cocked or speculating wildly or anything like that. These are things Blizzard can take as legitimate praise or criticism, depending. So, things I like. Number 1, no more Garrison. Yes, it seemed like such a good idea. Until we were a week into Warlords thinking, why am I picking flowers and mining war in a castle that I'm commander of? Don't I have people that could be doing this? 2 weeks in, we're wondering why the person sitting behind the desk at a mission table isn't assigning missions based on our preferences. Delegation being the mark of a true leader and all. 4 months in, we're wondering if we shouldn't be sending Blizzard a bill for our shrinks. 2. A return to the world as we know it. Let's face it, Miss Pandaria was a slight departure from the traditional storyline, and it took digging through the World Quest content until you were all the way over a Dread Waste at the end of the Claxi arc to figure out why the hell we were even there, to deal with the remnants of an old god named Shards. If Miss was not very engaging from a story perspective, Warlords of Draenor was simply preposterous. Medieval setting, sci-fi time travel. Most of us are still scratching our heads wondering how that worked. To make things worse, the bad guy we went through the Dark Portal to kill, Garrosh Hellscream, winds up dead in the Grand at the hands of Thrall at the very beginning of it all. We're left to hunt down that reality's Gul'dan, who hasn't been a thing since Warcraft 2. Legion finally happens on Azeroth and helps add to the existing storylines. The Tomb of Sargeras is finally revealed, the origins of the Vrykul, the pantheon of keeper deities borrowed from Norse mythology, Deathling's past, the Emerald Nightmare, the ancient Naga kingdom of Azshara are all explored in greater detail. All of a sudden, the story is relevant again. Number 3, artifact weapons. Putting characters in charge of deciding how to advance themselves in whatever form, I believe shows a healthy game. In the past, we had talent trees. Those are pruned time and time again until all we had left were a 3-way choice. We had glyphs to tailor our characters, and that system was gutted, dumbed down, and ultimately removed. Adding in artifact weapons with traits that players choose for themselves, even if progression is going to be theory crafted and ultimately distilled down to the optimal choices, and in fact it already has, forces player choice and a little bit of strategic thinking. Number 4, a reinvigorated game economy. During Warlords, let's face it, the game economy was in the toilet. Player-made items from the current expansion held little, if any, value because there was a permanent market glut on the materials it took to make them. In Legion, at least so far, players have not only have to actively gather materials, but also have to unlock the ability to gather them, to do so more efficiently, and to unlock more efficient ways to produce crafted items. This, in my humble opinion, is a huge step in the right direction. Number 5, actually having an emotional tie-in to what we're all doing. Towards the end of Warlords, things seem so mechanical. Do the garrison stuff to get money to do the raids to down another boss on mythic difficulty. Then downing that mythic boss. Yay, we killed it. Enjoy the moment. Okay, moment's over. Next mythic boss. Right now we're raiding the Emerald Nightmare, paying back Xavius for the death of Ysera, and it feels good. Soon we'll be wiping the smirk off Gul'dan's face once and for all, and after the horror that kicked everything off with both the Alliance and Horde losing iconic leaders, that's going to feel so good. Number 6, a reworked PvP system. If anything made me wish I could play 30 hours a day, 8 days a week, this is probably it. The guild I'm part of is primarily PvE, but I have to say I look forward to seeing just how far I can get in this new prestige system. Number 7, The whole game seems refreshed. It may be due to the surge in subscriptions, it may be due to just how much content there is to explore, how much story there is to see between the new zones and the class storylines, or the new Demon Hunter class. It's almost definitely a combination of these, but it feels like a popular game again, like a game you want to be part of. Things I dislike. Number 1. Cross-realm zones. Whatever name or iteration of it Blizzard is using this week, I passionately hate it. I feel like cross-realm zones are only intended to force an undue level of competition over already rare in-game rewards. Add this to server hopping, and I feel like the average player will never have any chance at things like the Time-Lost Proto-Drake, Poseidus, Aeonax, the Camel Hoarder, Dark Talon of the Void Star, or other very rare world spawn, mount-related NPCs, or event triggers. To make matters worse, usually Blizzard waits until an expansion has run its course to add it to their list of cross-realm zone content. Not so anymore. Blizzard is so proud of its new cross-realm Shard technology that virtually everything in Legion is under heavy competition, meaning that fewer and fewer of its customers will see a pink hippogriff mount or complete the revamped Mastery of Magic achievement any day soon. CRZ is bad for hunters especially, since virtually all of their Spirit Beast pets are extremely rare spawns. Number 2. Raiding costs way too much. I've been around long enough to know that raiding is always expensive at the start of an expansion, since there are fewer herbs and crystals available to create the high-end flasks and enchantments. But it seems this has been taken to a ridiculous extreme. I seem to be spending around 40 to 50k gold a week just on raid-related items. A guildmate of mine ran a spreadsheet and calculated the cost of flasks on his raid team's full clear of Emerald Nightmare at a little over 1 million gold. Also, some servers have seen the price of Sky Golems as much as quadruple in price due to the fact that you can pick herbs while mounted on it. All I can say is this: prices need to come down on gems and enchants, or I'm going to start boycotting loot. 3. Legion is perhaps the most alt-unfriendly expansion ever. How are you supposed to squeeze time for your alt in? You've got to be playing whack-a-mole with world quests, hoping for better gear, order hall resources, and artifact power, while trying to get 5-mans done either for your quests or your friends. Meanwhile, you're spending at least 2 to 3 nights a week raiding, or maybe doing raided PvP if that's your thing. Farming materials to work your profession so you can afford things that you need on the auction hall. I would consider myself to be a fairly hardcore World of Warcraft player, but if I can't find time, how are casual players supposed to? I like the world quest system, but it's a bit much. I feel like Blizzard said, fine, you don't want your followers running missions? Then you'll run them all. How is this better? Can we get a mobile app to run our tunes around world questing while we sleep? Number 4. Overland travel is excessively time-consuming. You could realistically make the argument that Legion's geography is really one big jumping game. This is certainly the case for Stormheim and High Mountain, but even to a degree in Val Shara and Azuna, there are parts of the zone geography that are just impossibly time-consuming to negotiate. And of course, this is by design. There are obvious points where you're literally 1 pixel away from being able to move forward, but the game geometry just won't let you. Even over the flatter portions, there are tons of choke points filled with packs of weak NPCs that aren't so much intended to pose a threat, just to slow you down to keep you from moving freely. Grapple points are a good idea, and I love the concept and gameplay aspect, and Goblin Gliders are another favorite thing of mine, but the Broken Isles, really you just need a flying mount. Number 5. Mythic level 5-mans at this point could and should be added to Group Finder. They're not that much harder than Heroic, and if you can remote queue for Heroic, why not Mythic? If there's a concern about playability, then gate being able to remote queue by having a mythic level 5-man achievement or meta for all of them, and have done with it. Save everyone some valuable time and keep the game moving. You can still keep Mythic Plus as world entry only, the same way challenge modes were, and perhaps grant dungeon teleports as a reward for high-level progress in a given instance. Number 6. Class Order Hall resources are only available through world content. Now, I'm a big fan of open world exploring, but that's not everyone's preference. You shouldn't be forced to spend hours every day world questing to keep your Order Hall functioning. That's a little better than the garrison we all wanted to leave as a smoking crater at the end of Warlords of Draenor. Blizzard, please add this as a reward to 5-mans or PvP, or at least introduce some missions that reward resources. Number 7. Runes. Right now, they're only available via Call to Arms bag and LFR. The only people seeing Call to Arms right now are tanks and healers. People doing progression rating are already investing a lot of time and may not have the time or desire to do LFR to farm for these. Also, the way things stand, they may not have the alts to make running LFR worthwhile. There should be other ways to earn runes, or perhaps have a permanent rune available. Heroic and mythic level raid bosses are tuned with these in mind, along with flasks, potions, enchants, and gems, and the fact that they do not persist through death makes them ridiculously expensive. People willing to pursue higher raid difficulties are already sacrificing their time and money in the form of repairs. There's no reason to bleed us dry financially this way. And that's all for this video. I want to thank everybody who's taken the time to watch my videos, leave comments, give feedback in the form of likes and dislikes, and or subscribed. Thank you all. When I first started this channel, I had no idea what to expect. But things have gone pretty well, and that's thanks to all of you. I just want you to know that I'm grateful. Again, please leave your comments, hit that like button, subscribe, all of that, please. This is Dartt. Good luck. Have fun.